Mark Jackson might be able to give us
definitely.
some sort of update on that.
Yes, and nothing confirmed yet, but to be honest with you, it didn't look good. He felt something going his Achilles, I think it is. So until we get that diagnosis, I think he will hold fire, giving anything on that. But yeah, listen, I go back what you're saying now about Trent. I thought he was excellent today in the game. I thought it was a real commanding performance from him, and to see that happen to him at the end was gut-wrenching, to be honest with you. It's been the story of our season. We lost Storm Rue in a training ground incident as well, so it's not quite gone for us this year from that point of view. So listen, we'll see what the outcome is once I get in there. But yeah,
Actually, I've said there were 4 things that featured Trent. There was a 5th, and that was when he went down with his knee injury. And the reason I raised that, Mark, is because the game turned with that stoppage in play. You guys were really under the pump the second half. MacArthur were really bossing you, looking very comfortable. What is it, firstly, about a break in play like that can change the dynamic of the game? And it did just happen to be Trent again who was pivotal.
Yeah, well, it wasn't on purpose or anything.
No, I'm not suggesting that for a second.
But it's, just listen, the swing of it in the second half, when Sawyer comes on, is a handful.
Yeah.
We saw that when we analysed the Newcastle game. We saw what a difference he can make, and we had to work hard to stop crosses, and when crosses come into your box, you have to defend them really well, and we didn't. We got to grips with that towards the end, and even in open play when balls were going forward into him, it's very difficult for a centre-back to win the first contact. But I felt Trent was covering really well, and the flick on were coming to us, and then we were gaining control again. But listen, all in all, with our performance today off the back of what we produced last week for our supporters, I think the supporters can see we showed some fight today, we showed some passion, and we fought for that badge today, and we put that on. We couldn't quite get the win, but we showed a lot more than we showed last week, which was important for us.
Yeah, most definitely. From the off, I guess, like I said, you mentioned the duels, and there certainly would have been an awful lot of soul searching through the week from the guys. That's when you want your seniors players to show up. But was there a different focus in terms of the game today where you told people individually, you just need to do your job? Because it seemed from the off that people were doing it. Andre De Lima, I thought, was fantastic today. But Trent as well, like, we've been quite critical of Trent this season. But beyond him, Docker showed up as well.
Yeah, the full team. And listen, you've got to remember, we've got young players on the pitch here. You've got Dylan in goal, who was fantastic. You've got Diesel Harrington coming in. I'm asking him to play a little bit out of possession at right back against Jacko, who's a very good player.
Right, yeah.
You've got Hayne Eames in the middle of the park. Everybody forgets how young he is. And you've got Arthur Bellina coming on up top, and then young players on the bench as well. So that's a real positive for us as a club. We're not where we want to be in this table this season, 100%. And it's my job to create a team where we can have the success what we had last season. This year we've fallen short. But looking at it, we've blooded a lot of youngsters in this campaign, and they're going to grow from that. And if I'm allowed to build a squad how I want to build a squad next season, then we can be fighting at the top again.
Sorry, Tristan. What's going to determine that then for the fans, if you're allowed to build the squad? So what are the variables there that you need to be able to activate to be comfortable to stay here? And is it in the owner's hands? Is the ownership still up for grabs? I mean, the punters need to hear what's going on, because it's been a fantastic ride, resurgent ride for the last 3-4 years. And they don't want to be back where they were 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. None of us do. And we know what we have to do for next season. Yes, it's still a little bit up in the air with the club, and it's clear that the owner's trying to sell the club. But, from me as a manager, and my staff, of course we've got a season to finish, and we want to finish as high as we can, and we want to finish on a high for our supporters. It's not been the season we want, but even now I'm looking to build for next year, and it's getting that clarity from the owner, and waiting for that moment to happen where we can move forward with things. We've got a lot of things lined up of what we want to do. I know how I want the team to look next year. And I won't divulge that to you now, because I know that'll probably be the next question.
Well, what's the timeline?
But I've got an idea what the team looks like, experience-wise. Still blending the team with that youth as well, because that's important for us at the club. And you look at the youth we have within the squad now, and we've still got to bring that through. But it's clear that we need some experience through the spine of the team as well. And that's what my plan is. That's what I've got lined up, ready to go, and it's just waiting for that timeline. And you're asking me what the timeline is? I don't know.
Okay, is Brian Kaltak part of that plan?
Brian has expressed, I'll not lie to you, Brian has expressed a desire to move overseas to Asia. That's what he said to us at the start of the year. We tried to renegotiate with him on a contract, and he wants to move overseas. That's what he wants to do, and we have to respect that. We had the same with Max Ballard and Nisbet last year. You know, both players out of contract. We tried to entice them to stay, but they wanted to run the contracts out and move overseas to Europe, and that's what Brian said he wants to do. So we have to respect that. Listen, we have to look at the Trent Sainsbury injury now, and you know, without divulging it to you, I've got a plan in my mind what I need for next year, and I'm just waiting for the go-ahead to action that.
Yeah. I guess it's probably tough for a lot of the boys who came in. Certainly Alfie McCalmon probably hasn't settled as quickly as we might have liked him to. Ryan Edmondson's had a lot of injuries as well. So in terms of how important those foreign or international spots are, is that something? Because, I mean, I suppose when you're looking at it, they're kind of tend to be the ones that make the big difference for the clubs here. Now, I know that a lot of your kind of so far the 18s and 23s with Leeds as well. How do you temper your own expectations when it comes to things? Because obviously there's a lot of frustration there coming on the back of having won so much last year, and knowing I need to improve these guys, but results talk.
Well, we need to improve the guys, of course we do, but it's quite clear. Listen, when you're talking about visa players and visa spots, usually they're the marquee signings within the A-League. The big money players. One thing we don't have here is big money. That's what we don't have. So we're trying to do things on a budget. It's clear, you know, we lost a certain amount of players last year, and I've talked about that before. Nisbet, Ballard going for free, Vukovic retiring, Marco Tullio, who we forgot about, who left midway through the season as well, and Jacob Farrell leaving for next to nothing because of things they had in the contract, which were, you know, prior to me coming. So we can't reinvest that money back into these foreigners who deserve that little bit more, or the higher end foreigners. So we have to try and be cute within our dealings, and that's a challenging thing to do when the expectation is to continue to win and win the treble again. You know, I think, you know, Sydney, as a fantastic team as they are, they've shown how hard it is to compete in Asia and compete in the A-League as well. And we did it on 3 fronts last year. We won 3 trophies. So, listen, that's in the past now. We know this season is coming to an end. We're not being where we want to be. But I've got a clear vision of what I want to do to get this club competing at the top end of the table again. And, you know, I'm just waiting for that button so we can go ahead with our plans.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time today,
No
Mark
worries.
Jackson. And please give our best to Trent as well. Thank you very much.